what's going on, guys? I was fussing with freaking Instagram, and again, still getting used to that. I don't know. I don't think it's up.
Not much, man. How's work been?
It's typical quiet. It's after the holidays. I mean, not much going on, fortunately, which kind of sucks because it also slows things down here, and yeah, we get bored. So
Yeah, I feel you. Well, I mean, it's been pretty wild on this side. Did all the closing, picked up the keys to the house, everything. Been packing boxes, moving stuff slowly. Um, was gonna go to work this week, but didn't because trying to get most of the stuff over if I can. But I think I was thinking about sliding over, working with you guys for a couple weeks until we get a backfill. But we'll see what happens, man.
yeah, well, we'll see what happens uh, with Gutierrez's leg. Hey, really quick, are we live on Instagram? That's what I need to know because I wasn't able to hit the go live on there.
Uh,
Because
it
last time
doesn't
you were
say.
able to check,
It
it
doesn't
say,
say we're live,
let me do this really quick.
which is crazy because it says we're live, but it doesn't.
And
Well, he finagles with that, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and put our links down at the bottom. You guys can follow all of our banners.
I'm always
IG,
messing with it.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. Everything is the Geek Saga, and then you can follow us at the Geek Saga 20 at gmail.com. Send us information, things you want to see, things you might want to talk about, ideas, questions for interviews, anything that of that type that you want to see us talk about or do on the show.
Yeah, next week we've got, or not next week, the week after, January 8th. So this is something for you guys to start thinking about. We are actually going to have Brian Wise, sorry, uh, who is one of the guys that created um, Toys That Made Us, the show that made us, and also the show that is on Prime right now, which is a store near you, which is where they go out and they check out a bunch of like uh, collectible stores, and they interview the people. They talk about how they got started and all that really cool stuff. And it's a really great show. This is season 6 for them, and I'm really excited about that to watch it. So we are now live. We're live. So
So we cannot post on IG. So if you're watching us from IG, thanks for joining us. We're here every weekend, 7:30 p.m., 7:30 ish in this case. But we do this every week. We talk about all the same, not all the same things, but we talk about everything you can think of in the geekdom. Lately, it's been a lot of comic books, movies, and TV shows. I'm working on a lot of anime stuff. My son was following the con that just wrapped the other day, and we got a lot of new stuff that's coming out, like anime wise. So
sweet.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
I was trying stuff too, but I couldn't find it.
because you're not tuned in like we are.
I'm not. Well, all right. I thought I was. I thought I was pretty tuned in. But guys, we also want to give some shout outs to a couple of our affiliates, which we're going to start off with Ulanzi. Check them out at www.ulanzi.com for some great tripods, camera frame, the little cages that you put on there, and all the accessories, the lights. Uh, like right there is a camera stand for the desk. They've got a lot of cool stuff. Check them out. Their gear is great. We use, like right now, the lights that I have in here are Ulanzi, and I use a Ulanzi cage around my camera. So check them out. On our Instagram, we have a affiliate code. You click on that, it sends you straight to their website. Whenever you purchase, it'll help us out when you purchase stuff from them. So again, check them out. They're a really great company. Next, we got Roosevelt. Hey guys, we met Mike from Roosevelt's at LA Comic Con. Really cool dude. The shirts are freaking phenomenal, right?
They're comfortable, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to get a smaller size next time because I feel like the extra large was not flattering enough.
Well, my extra large fit great. I was happy with it. So they've got a lot of great licenses from Marvel to Disney and everything in between. They always come out some really cool prints. The latest one that they just put out was the Great Gatsby, which was to promote New Year's. It's a really cool shirt. They're going to have a special live event going on tomorrow on their Instagram with Mr. Morrow or Pagey Mr. Morrow, he is a YouTube content creator, Instagram, and he wears their shirts everywhere we go, wherever he goes. I really need to find out how he did that, how he got that deal with them, but we're working on it. Next, we got Wild Bill Soda, which I turned David on to, not turn him on. I don't turn him on. Let's get that right.
You don't have to mention it every week.
What, that I turned you on?
No, that you, that you turned me on. Great soda. If you're into sodas, great. Strawberry cream. The new Rocket Pop, I haven't tried. I don't know if I will. I haven't liked anything Rocket Pop.
Yeah, that's. I don't know.
Yeah, if you like traditional sodas, though, they're delicious.
They have their version of Dr. Pepper, which is.
I will try that. It's probably better.
It is not better. Don't even.
It might be.
Moving on to Renegade Game Studios. They are a game company that make some great RPGs along with deck building games, which I have the Transformers deck building game right there that you see on there. Great artwork on all their stuff, from all their cards to all their games. Again, this is another one that if you go onto our Instagram, go to our link tree, check out the affiliate code. It is on there. It'll send you straight to them. And when you purchase, it helps us out. But a lot of great games, again, licensed games like Transformers, G.I. Joe, My Little Pony. What was the other one?
A lot of Hasbro.
Yeah, a lot of Hasbro
toys have been turned into RPG tabletop games.
Really cool games they've got. Check them out. Again, you go onto our link trees and you'll find all these affiliate codes and you'll find all the links to all these different companies that we talk about. Some we've met and some we haven't met, but we definitely want to give a shout out to all of them. So this, guys, is our last episode for the year. If you guys don't realize it, this coming weekend is going to be the new year, and I'm excited. What are you doing for New Year's Eve?
Moving into my new house still. That's it. That's what I'm doing for the next couple of days until I go back to work.
Oh, man. Moving into, whether it's a big house or a freaking apartment, it's always just rough because you think you're done and then you're really not, and then you're still unpacking for days.
Because you got to pack all the way there, then move everything, then unpack everything, and then once it's unpacked, you got to set everything where it's going to be.
Then you realize I'm now in a new place. It's bigger, and damn, I need to get this. I need to get this, and I need to get something else. Yeah.
I'm going to need to get a Maytag affiliate. I'm going to have to get a affiliate.
We'll get a Viking affiliate so we can both get really nice stoves. Frigidaire or LG. Actually, let's get an LG because we want to get some of those LG, what do you call it? Fridges.
Hey, you got to take what you can get, bruh.
That's true.
I'd take Pancho's giveaway right now if I could.
Oh, man. Well, guys, so yeah, this is going to be the last one for the year. So we're going to end it in the way we would always do all our shows because I mean it's nothing really special just yet. But let's start off with some. But I will really quick. I promise, and tell our producer. I promise her, I will drop the volume down of this particular soundbite. So
Eventually.
if Jessica and Darren are listening to us, and if they have their headphones on, turn down the sound now for this. All right, this week in geek history, we like to talk about in this segment things that are going on during the week for us, or actually for our geekdom. So here it is. We're starting off the list with Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which premiered in 2000 on Adult Swim on Cartoon Network. So if you guys do not know this show, which David said that he would always cut out of Adult Swim as these shows started to come on.
Yes, every time.
Dude, I mean, I get it. I really love the anime when it came on first. And depending on what was going to come on next, I usually did cut out too. But Aqua Teen Hunger Force was one that I stayed on for because it was stupid, but it was hilarious. It's an adult animated sitcom featuring the surreal adventures of anamorphic food items. As you can see there, there's Master Shake, Meat Wad, and oh my God, what was his name? Fry.
You fired, man.
I forgot the name.
I'm not saying it wasn't funny. It had its moments. There were some things that were cool. I just couldn't sit through it. It was, I mean, the animation style was way better than some of the stuff that came out after these shows came out, but it didn't get me, dude. I don't want to see a cup, a meatball, and a set of fries talking to each other. If I want to see that, I'd get out of the guard and like smoke a bunch of weed or something and like trip out on some stuff.
Well, they also had Carl that would pop in, and then there's a couple times that Carl died, which was their neighbor who was always pissed off, wearing the sweats that were just showed his.
Is he the one that had the tank top and the freaking roast beef hanging out the top of that thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
I do.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't like it.
It was a great.
Adult Swim.
I loved it, and it spanned for 12 years. So there was plenty of people that loved the show on top of that. With 139 episodes. So it originated as a spinoff off of Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which was another one that I really liked. And it even had a movie that came out.
I didn't like Space Coast to Coast, man. I felt like just give me regular old Space Ghost, man. Like give me a Batman the Animated Style series with Space Ghost.
Which actually, if they would have done that, that would have been cool. Like an updated version of Space Ghost. Yeah, because I used to watch Space Ghost as a kid. Yeah, I actually liked it too.
Space Ghost came out at the same time as like Johnny Quest and all those other shows at the time. And it definitely needed a better like serial type storyline.
I see it. I got it. I got you. Yeah. But we got this instead. As a spinoff. Next, we have a military classic, Black Hawk Down, which, if you guys don't know the story of Black Hawk Down, you guys, I don't know where you guys have been unless you were born prior to, or born like in 2001. Yeah. So
Black Hawk Down has no clue what this is.
So if you guys have not seen this, it has Josh Hartnett, Ewan McGregor, and a young Orlando Bloom, like super young.
Yep.
I mean, the cast goes on of all the guys, Tom Sizemore, God, even the guy that was the pilot for Armageddon, he's in this. I don't remember his name, but he's always in like.
Oh, yeah.
So, huh?
Yeah, you made me blank his name now.
U.S. Special Forces in Somalia find themselves in an unexpected war and with heavily armed forces while on a mission to demilitarize the government or destabilize the government. So that's like, I shouldn't even read that. Basically, this story follows Rangers and some Delta guys that go in to go try to snatch up some people. And when that goes wrong, because a Black Hawk literally gets hit and it goes down. And now they go in to go and try to rescue those that were in the Black Hawk and also destroy the Black Hawk. And they become surrounded, and it just goes all bad after that. But it is a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, it follows mostly true events that happened at the time. That the war was the conflict in Mogadishu was a thing. The Rangers, the special forces, actually went in there. They actually did try to destabilize the government because there was a conflict happening at the time, but it was an internal conflict. It was one side versus the other. It was a civil war style thing, and yeah, it was crazy. It was not talked about a lot, but a lot went down for our troops that were in there at that time, and that's what kicked off the idea for this movie to happen. And then Ridley Scott picked it up as the director, and we got what we got out of it.
And it was a great movie. It was full of action throughout the whole movie. I'm not trying to knock down the events leading why and all this other stuff about this, but the basis of the movie itself is that's what happened, was that a Black Hawk went down and they went in there to try to rescue, got surrounded, and it was just nuts. So it actually won 2 Academy Awards, including Best Film Editing for it. And this was Tom Hardy's first film debut.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I had to watch the movie again to look closely again at the guy, and I was like, holy crap, that is Tom Hardy. Freaking skinny as hell.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think prior to this, the only thing he had ever been in, or at the same time as this, was the Star Trek movie. Was it Nemesis? He's the bald-headed dude.
I think it filmed and came out after Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, and he was in that movie, and same thing, real skinny, huge light bulb style head because he's so thin, and he's super young. I think he was like 20 at the time.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
But all these guys were.
I'm gonna name a bunch of names that were in this movie, and then I'll stop when someone who doesn't matter comes up. So I'll start at the top. Josh Hartnett, Ewan McGregor, Time Sizemore, Eric Bana, William Fichtner. That's the dude that's in all the freaking movies. Ewan Bremner, he was the dude with the stutter in Pearl Harbor. Sam Shepard, Gabriel Cassius, Kim Coates, Hugh Daney, Ron Elder. Like, Ewan Grufford was in it. He was Lancelot in the movie with Keira Knightley and Clive Owen.
Yeah.
Jason Isaacs was in it, and he did a pretty good American accent for being Draco Malfoy's dad.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Dude, freaking Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, the dude from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The brother with the cut off hand.
Mm-hmm. He was one of the snipers.
Yep. Yeah. And then, I mean, the list just keeps going on.
Yeah, it's crazy how many guys were in this movie, like all named, like some getting started and some that had already been in for a while, but I mean, big names were in this. It was a great movie.
A really good movie.
Yeah.
And two great lines that are great from that movie. This is my safety. And then, of course, no, they're not shooting at us. When you hear it ping, they're shooting at us. And then he goes, bing, and he's, they're shooting at us.
Oh, that was a great movie. Great lines. But moving on to 12 Monkeys, premiered in 1995. This movie was crazy. in the sense of like you kind of didn't if when you're watching, you're kind of like, what the hell's going on? And
Yep.
then when the movie's over, you're like, what the hell just happened?
And this is one of those movies, like, it came out, I don't know, 95. I was like 11 when this came out. It's one of those movies that I remember watching, but I didn't like, it didn't grip me, right? At the time, I'm 11 years old. I'm not watching movies for plot like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it didn't stick with me, and I never went back to rewatch it. Never went back to re-see it again, not even on deployment. It just wasn't one of those movies that gripped me like, hey, watch this movie over and over again. So
Yeah. And so I was, now that you make me feel old, I was a junior in high school when this came out. I did see this in the movie theater because it looked interesting because I was I'm obviously into sci-fi and all that. And I had seen it then. Then of course when it came out on VHS, for all you guys out there, yes, VHS. I watched it again and I started catching on to it, and then it was like, oh, okay, I get it now. He's a time traveler. And but it's still like it's a very confusing movie, but Brad Pitt played a phenomenal crazy dude in it.
yeah, he was nuts, dude. Like, I mean, just the picture you included right here, like, he kind of has that face the whole time. You know what I mean? Just in and out of just flux.
It's crazy. And he won 2 Golden Globes for it. So, I mean, he won a Golden Globe for it for his role. But for those of you guys who don't know that it's Bruce Willis who plays James Cole is sent from a dystopian future to the 90s to investigate a virus that wiped out most of the population. So he came back to see what happened, and I'm still kind of like, okay, so then at the end of this movie, he saw himself getting shot. Is that because you see that little boy that's holding that one kid's hand, that the lady's hand?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to rewatch this, dude. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again just to.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I got to go rewatch this because I have no idea what happened.
I like I said, I saw it at 11. Never went back and rewatched it, so I might as well have never seen it because I have no recollection of how the movie ended.
Yeah, you know what? I'm probably gonna go watch it tonight before I go to bed. It's a long movie, but why not? I'll be up. I'm drinking a Ghost.
Yep.
All right, moving on to the next one, the final one, which is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which premiered in 1967, which stars Clint Eastwood. This is a Sergio Leone directed spaghetti western following 3 men racing to find a buried fortune. So, if you guys don't know what the term spaghetti western is, it's these string of westerns that were actually shot in Italy. Yep. They were shot quick and shot cheap.
Yeah, they were shot quick, shot cheap because Italy didn't charge hella money for us to come over and use their area for filming. Yep. And then the term spaghetti because it was in Italy, so they just became spaghetti westerns, and that's what gave us Star Wars, man. Thank you, spaghetti westerns.
That's true. But this was the 3rd installment. It was actually part of a trilogy, which was Fistful of Dollars, and then a few dollars more, and then the final, which is this one, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, which I didn't even know. I mean, I got the first 2, but I didn't even realize that this 3rd one was in that line.
I didn't realize this was part of anything. I thought this was a standalone movie, and it just like birthed so much pop culture from this movie. Like Michael J. Fox looks just like Clint Eastwood when he does the showdown with Biff. Well, yep. Sorry, with was it Bulldog Tannen or something like that?
It's Mad Dog Tannen.
Mad Dog Tannen. The character from Overwatch, McCree, or I guess Cassidy now, Cole Cassidy, is based off of this version of Clint Eastwood. And yeah, just so much from this movie alone, which is probably the reason nobody remembers the other two movies are part of it.
Hmm.
Just birthed so much pop culture, and it just continues to keep going.
Yeah, that's also where, in any movie that you may see where they're making fun of like a standoff, a showdown, and then they'll put in that wah,
Yeah,
wah, wah. That's where it came from. The good, the bad, the ugly. So if you guys didn't know that, there you
that was the
go.
worst rendition of that song ever. Just want you guys to know.
Well, that's okay. There's only one person watching us, so it doesn't matter. I'm actually shocked. All our fans are not here today. Could it be that because I don't have it on Twitch, or should I throw it up on Twitch instead of Instagram?
Nah, I think we're good, man. Well, no, because most of our viewers come from YouTube and Facebook. So
Yeah. But there you go, guys. That was this week, and hope you guys enjoyed that. And cover your ears. Here it comes again. All right, guys. So, yeah, that was it for this week. Dude, I literally had to scour the internet to find what went on this week in history, in geek history. It wasn't
well,
much.
I mean, it's always the holidays, right?
Yeah.
The 25th has been going on since you were like baptized in Constantinople. So, um, but it's always a busy time of year. Shooting usually breaks around December. If movies do drop, they're huge breakout movies, and they usually drop on Christmas, not after Christmas. So
Yeah.
26, 27, 28, 29, we're probably going to be scouring if we ever land on those dates again because things don't come back out till first of the year.
Yeah, and it's just crazy. Like next year, I don't know what we're gonna do. I'll be all like, "So nothing came out this week. We've already told you about."
Yeah, just save this freaking slide. We'll need it again.
There you go.
But
But yeah, it's you know what? How was your holiday? Like your actual Christmas? Since we didn't even talk about that at the beginning.
it was good, man. I mean, the 25th, I was supposed to ride up to Stockton. Me and my wife were gonna go up visit her family. Then that fell through, so we didn't go. And then we remembered that we had presents from someone down south that had to go up to Stockton anyways. So I jumped in my car, delivered those presents,
Oh,
and then
jeez.
luckily they all kind of like gave me their presents. I brought them down to the family. Then they opened their presents here and went to my dad's house for a little bit. Then I think I came home and went to bed. And then on the 25th, we woke up. Oh, her dad ended up meeting us here in the house. So he came, stopped by, hung out with us for the Christmas Eve. And then the 25th, we woke up early, knocked out a bunch of things, went to her mom's, went to my mom's, took truckloads of stuff over to the new house. And then that was it. And just finished out the night and came back to sleep and woke up and went right back to packing on the 26th like nothing happened.
Dude, I do not envy you, and nor do I miss the days of having to travel from one house to another house to another house. Oh, excuse me. And then, okay, so we're doing this on Christmas Eve, and then we're going here on Christmas Day, and then we're gonna, and we've got at least 4 houses on Christmas Eve and 4 houses on Christmas Day, and this year was seriously nice. Christmas Eve, my house, and it was just my family came to my house, and Christmas Day we just went into Covina to my wife's aunt's house and just spent the day there, which it was seriously cool. And then obviously I had to come back here the next day, so couldn't do too much. But we're not all about that traveling. And you know what? Kids got presents, cool. All right, you didn't? Well, sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I mean, we do what we can, and like I said, we were supposed to go up there anyways, so we had already planned to pick up stuff in LA when we came up from San Diego the last 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Um, so it was like one of those things where, oh, we're going up there anyways. We'll take your presents for you since you're not going up. And then when we couldn't go up, it was like, shit, we still got to get these up there. And I just, my wife was tired, and I was like, I got it. Don't worry about it. Jumped in my little silver car and drove up there.
Was it
Relaxed,
4 hours?
stretched out for like 2 hours.
Oh, okay, that's not bad then. That's not too
Yeah, I drove 2 hours up, and then stretched out real quick. Had a conversation with a couple of her cousins, and then jumped right back in the car and brought all the presents back for everybody that was going to be here. So busy, bro.
bad. Well, I had the worst tamales in the world this Christmas.
Sucks to be you, because I
Oh.
had great ones that I made.
Oh, dude. So her aunt got some from Costco. Don't ever buy Costco tamales.
I don't buy any tamales. Like for the one time that I bought from the van that comes to the base,
Yeah.
they were okay. They were good, but I make them every year, so why would I buy them? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just like her aunt was just trying to add something into the rest of the dinner because she already had a bunch of food but wanted something else. But those tamales were the worst. They were like, you reheat them and they turn into a freaking uh, tortilla chip.
And we thought he didn't like us no more. Look at that.
Look at that, Dennis. Dude, I really wanted to have you on so we can end the year with all three of us since we started the year with all three of us. But no, but her aunt actually made some. Her other aunt made some and brought them, and they were good. My mom bought some from a place in East LA, which actually they were really good too. So there you go. I did have some good tamales at least.
That's good. Yeah, we make our own every year, and then her mom makes some, and then my dad makes some. So we only made maybe like 5 or 6 dozen, and I finished them. I polished them off today, so there's no more left.
You know what? I'm still waiting to find the place or someone that makes them where it's got the right balance of masa to meat. So, well, then you have to make me some sometime because I really need that. No champurrado unless it's at home. Can't trust it. No, there's some places I've had champurrado that's actually really good.
If you're getting bad champurrado, strengthen your stomach, because I usually don't get no problems from champurrado. And it depends on who's making it, because some people make their champurrado with flour instead of using the cornmeal from the tamales, and that's technically not champurrado, it's atole. It changes what it's called. So it's not very good. It adds like a dryness to it, and it tastes weird.
Oh,
But yeah, I like champurrado, man. It's got to be creamy though. Don't give me no gelatinous pour. I'll be mad.
you know what? There's one time that I did get some, and they didn't like. I don't know if it was like a fresh batch, and they had not stirred it up, but I did get some chunks, and I was just like,
see, but if it's actual masa, I don't mind it because the chunks
it was
are
masa.
masa.
Yeah, it was masa. Yeah.
What I'm talking about.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
What do we got? Where are we going?
we're going on to our next segment, like we always like to do, which is where's it at? There it is. The geek news. Oh man, my nose is all.
That's gross.
It's the cocaine. Man.
Turn off your camera next time. Nobody wants to see that.
The villain hey, I didn't go in. I just kind of moved my nose around.
I'm not picking my nose. I'm pointing to my brain.
So the villain of the Batman Part 2 will reportedly be Hush.
I'm not excited about that. I mean, normally I would be, because Dennis said make sure you pick a winner if you're going to be digging in there. Normally, I would be very excited about this because Hush is a good, it's a great storyline, and it's written and kind of co-created by my favorite artist, Jim Lee. So the idea of it is great, but there hasn't been enough in the Batman universe to introduce Hush.
Yeah, this would be more of let's get established with our basic characters, which they introduced um, Penguin, they introduced Riddler, and we saw the small snippet of the Joker. But to go this deep into the actual like his rogue gallery so quickly, yeah.
I mean, like I said, Hush is a great character to use, and he would be a it would build for a great movie. The
Mhm.
problem is Hush's origins need build up.
Yeah, he
For those of
definitely
you who don't
does.
know, Hush is legit a clone of um, Bruce Wayne. And if you, I think the comic book and the cartoon don't exactly line up, but in the cartoon, Talia al Ghul has made this clone of him, and he finds his way to Gotham in order to try to replace Bruce Wayne as Bruce, not as Batman.
Mhm.
Um, and then Damian knows about it, so he goes and tries to help out, and craziness happens. See, but this, and when you told me about the story, what Dennis is saying here, next up is Clayface. That's what I heard too. So
I
unless they're
I
trying
heard
to do a
that.
dual villain,
Well, so what we're seeing is, of course, um, where is it at? What's his name? Matt Reeves. He hasn't been really giving out a ton of details on what's coming next, other than we do know again the Penguin's getting his own thing, and it's
right?
supposed to be on. Hollywood Insider Daniel Rittman's report on the introduction of the iconic. So this was put in the Hollywood Reporter or the Hollywood Insider, saying that it was hinted at this, and that there's also a hint of the involvement of the Penguin spinoff series and a possible appearance by the Joker in the sequel. So they're talking that possibly Hush may be introduced in the Penguin series. So there may be build up there with a hint of the Joker sprinkled in there leading up to the Batman movies. But again,
See that
it's all
that would
what
be a better way to do it. But if he's gonna go straight into the Batman 2, which is literally gonna start production in the summer of next year,
yeah.
I think it's a little rushed, and you're not gonna build a good universe that way, because then the character's gonna fall through.
Yeah,
Because
it's
Hush shows up and manipulates like all of Gotham, so he has to have enough people to manipulate.
yeah, so we'll see what happens. And again, a lot of this is still rumored reports. Who knows what who they're actually going to finally come out with in the end. But it's something just to look to see. Um, but again, even in this, it says that uh, his character is pretty complex to bring in just right off the bat. So we'll see what
See, I
happens.
would like to see if we're gonna do Clayface, that would be great because he's a very easy character to kind of like
Bring
shove
in,
into a movie by himself.
yeah,
But I would love to see Doctor Strange show up and be like that Thanos character in a Batman universe. He's in charge of Arkham. He's got easy access to the rogues. He writes them off as he wants and makes them free, and then releases them so that they could cause havoc just to bring them back in and then rehabilitate them himself.
well,
And
this is the second week that we're bringing up like another DC movie because last week we talked about Arkham. Speaking of
oh yeah, the series, right?
the series, so it's another Matt Reeves series. So
Yeah, I mean,
There's
we've
so
got the Penguin, we've got Arkham, we've got the movies, or
so we
the
got
sequel coming out.
yeah, we got quite a few places that they can go and quite a few different avenues that they possibly could bring in Hush to slide into the movie. So we'll see if he does
Yep.
it right. And everything has been done wrong in the DCU, but Gunn is in charge, and we'll see what he can do if he can steer these young directors in the right direction.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, here's hoping to finally get a right DCU, but who
Yeah,
knows?
and I think it would be super taxing to try to put Pattinson in a position where he's playing Batman, playing Bruce Wayne, then he has to turn around and play Hush, who's assumed or who's assumed Bruce Wayne's identity. You know, that's a lot to do in one movie.
Well, also the fact that we got a Batman that was like year two Batman, not year one, but year two, and now you're going to give me a part two, which can't be that far into the future, and then now you're giving me again Hush, who you know that's years into Batman's line.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd much rather see Clayface, or even I'd rather see another version of Two Face. Like that would be great too.
Yeah, especially in that world where it's got the almost the Christopher Nolan feel slash dark feel of the old Batman movies. So he can
It's a
look
little on the
pretty good.
gritty side, yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Moving on. More DC Universe news. As expected, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom has a low box office open. Is this a surprise?
I mean, I didn't expect it to do this bad just because the first one was good. People actually cared for the first one. I thought
Did
this
you
one was going to be better.
did you care for the first one?
I thought it was all right. I mean, I don't care for Aquaman as a character as a whole. Like, I don't really like the character at all. But it wasn't bad. Like, it was a good adaptation of the character. And to see Momoa take on the character and to see them adapt um, freaking Aquaman. I was going to use his alias, but to adapt Aquaman into a Polynesian person who is literally of the ocean, like that was cool. Like those tie-ins worked, and it's not like everything else where they're wokeifying everything. Oh, let's make him black. Let's make him Mexican. Let's make him gay. Let's make him. You know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like that. It felt like, how could we make this character cooler because he's not driving sales on our comic books, and people aren't going out of their way to buy the toy of Aquaman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I liked it.
I mean, yeah, the tie-in with Momoa and everything, and actually bringing him in at the height of his popularity was smart to drive attention to the character Aquaman. I thought the movie was okay. I expected this movie to be what it was, which was a flop, just because first one didn't do all that great, and then again, we're now winding out of the, I guess you can say, the old regime of DC movies and DCU, and now starting to make our way into the Gunn universe, which they had to get these last few out, and they're like, all right, let's just get them out, go, just like Blue Beetle, you know.
Yeah, and it is coming fresh off the heels of the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, so people lost interest of it because of that. Jason Momoa tried to have her fired a bunch of times. I think they even tried to cut her role down where she had like very minimal screen time on the movie. So, but you know the story you pulled from it says 27.6 million opening weekend. That's not good.
That's not like we were talking, that was for the 2 days, for the actual weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 27.6. Now, domestically throughout the US for the 4 day weekend, because again, this is a holiday weekend, um, and it is, she's only in the movie about 15 minutes. So, I mean, they did try to cut as much of her out, but um, domestically, it only made $40 million over four
And
days.
worldwide it made what 120,
It was at
127?
um, yeah, globally it brought in 120 million. Well, that's only another 80 million. Now, to compare it to the last uh, Marvel movie, it still did, better. Or the Marvel movie did better than this, and that was just the opening weekend. It mentions that um, it's saying along the lines of the film, the Ant Man and Wasp, Quantumania, the Flash, and the Marvels. So this now has gotten into that realm of really bad.
I mean, at least they're almost halfway to what it cost them to make the movie internationally, right? I mean, it was like 205 million to get this movie out the door.
But
So
when people hear that it did this poorly, people are just gonna be like, I'm not even gonna bother.
yeah, I mean, unless they're like me, I don't listen to people. I go watch movies that I'm interested in either way. But yeah, not a lot of people are like me. So
I am definitely one that if it did that poorly, I'm gonna be like, you know what, I'm okay. I could do without.
well, I mean, you
But
almost skipped the Batman and then didn't.
I didn't. But the thing is that a lot of people liked the Batman too. It was just going off of my own preference, which was I don't like Pattinson because of his stupid I'm a vampire. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
I don't
Mm.
remember him saying that. I don't remember that at all.
Don't look at me. I sparkle. And then he took off his clothes, walked out, and it's not that you can't be in the sunlight. It's just the sunlight. Yes, the sunlight sparkles on you, and you're just too beautiful. Nah, dude,
Right.
that's not.
You're harping on something that was written by someone who was in recovery. I don't know what you expected from that. I don't know what you thought was going to be, but it was made for women, not for you.
This is true. All right, I'll get off the bandwagon there. But they actually had a little bit of hope for this movie because the first movie it did gross 1.1 billion. Again, because basing it off of the stardom of Jason Momoa, that's what kicked it into high gear. And it wasn't a bad movie. I did like Manta Ray's costume. It was actually a
Yes.
real oh dude, that costume was freaking awesome.
Well, not just Manta but what's his name? The other his brother in the movie,
Oh yeah.
um, the
Uh,
dude from freaking Insidious, or no?
yeah. No, no.
Yeah,
Is it Insidious? He's the dude that also plays the one Ghost Hunter in all the freaking Conjuring movies, and also was in
right,
uh,
right, right, right.
The Watchmen.
Yeah,
He played.
so he his costume was really good too, and
Yeah.
he was a really good villain. Like to play the what was his name? Oh my god, I just blanked. I don't know. Who cares? Uh, but he did really good, and Momoa did good, and he was introduced. Orm, that's right,
Oh, Orm. Thank you, Dennis.
and he was introduced in the Justice League movie. So
Hmm.
it kind of built traction to it. There's just been
Yeah.
so much time between Aquaman 1 and Aquaman 2. You can't give a character who has a small following already that much space between movies.
Yeah. No, you definitely. They should have came out with a movie a lot sooner. Um, I get it. The whole trial was going on. That probably could have kicked her out of it sooner, and we could have had a better movie without her. But whatever. But I mean, this is kind of more of a nod to James Gunn and Peter Safran to hey, it's definitely a time to give the DCU a huge overhaul, and let's try to kick this into high gear.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, Momoa's a good actor, right? I like
Yeah,
him in almost everything he's been in. I didn't watch Fast X,
I
but I
didn't.
do remember Vin Diesel saying that it failed because Momoa overacted in the movie, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it failed because people are tired of freaking 9 movies of the same shit over and over.
Yeah, and you keep trying to introduce characters that you say were in the old movies in the background, but you can't do that.
Yeah, it. Anyways, I digress. Back to
Get back
Momoa,
to
like, and give Momoa a solid. Like, I want to see him in a superhero movie, and I want to see him in a solid role. Like, give him something that he can run with.
I want something that's going to fit him, like his personality. Like he's already said it. I want to be Lobo in the new Gun universe. He
That would be
would be
great.
phenomenal. I think a phenomenal Lobo.
Yeah, he would be.
So
Um, who I had someone in mind the other day for a Marvel movie, and it freaking eludes me now because I'm not in that conversation again. But just give him a strong character to play and someone that he can lean into.
mhm.
And he's like Johnny Depp, dude. You give him a role, he becomes that person, and just let him do his thing. I seriously believed he didn't speak English when he was Cal.
Yeah, seriously, it was no joke.
Like, I
But
thought he was some international dude who didn't speak any languages, but oh,
my moon.
exactly. And but he killed it. You know what I mean? And I didn't even realize that he was the same dude from the Conan movie. I didn't
Yeah,
realize he was the same kid from Baywatch. Like, none of it clicked until I looked back at it and I was like, holy shit, that was Momoa. And that
yep.
Conan movie was garbage.
That was oh
Ron Perlman as his dad, like, that doesn't even make sense. At least in Aquaman, his dad was freaking Boba Fett.
yeah. Seriously, you put at least a Polynesian dude. That's okay. That fits. But
Yep,
Ron Perlman, no, bro.
hurt.
Nothing against Ron Perlman. But
All right, what else we got?
all right, next, moving on. We're staying kind of in that DCU. It seems like that's all that's putting out news right now. James Gunn prepares to shoot Superman Legacy in March, which we had talked about, and it addresses the plot summary. So we finally are getting a little bit of a taste of what the plot's going to be, and the synopsis is offering insight into Superman's journey to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as Clark Kent. Um, this is, it seems like we're going to finally get, which we didn't get with Henry Cavill, which we should have. I wish we could have gotten more of Henry Cavill playing Clark Kent as that reporter, because that was the story. Not
He needed a
this.
second film.
He did. He definitely did, but we didn't get a chance to see that. And instead, we went straight into Justice League or Batman v Superman, and we still never saw Clark Kent. We saw small bits of Clark Kent in the previous movie where he was growing up and then as a world traveler, which I don't remember him doing that in the comics, but apparently he was a world traveler. And,
Yeah. And it was funny because, like, you got those small instances of Lawrence Fishburne, where he was like, dude, focus on sports, write my story about the football game.
yeah,
And then that was it. It was like, you didn't see him bumble the story. You didn't see him figure a way to put it out. Like, they just were like, oh, Lois is in trouble. And then, boom, Superman the rest of the movie.
yep. It was Superman, rest of the movie, Superman, Batman v Superman, Justice League. It just, we never saw Clark Kent. So we're going to start to get that with this movie that's coming out with James Gunn. So we finally get to go back to more of a Reeve style movie and not so much Cavill style movie, where we'll see.
See, and this is where I hope they borrow from Smallville. Give us those Clark elements that humanize Superman, but also show you that he can be great, not because he wants to be, but because he's forced to be. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be a dude. I want to blend in. That's what my parents want me to do. I want to live that lifestyle. Ah, shit, I gotta go fight this dude who also shoots lasers out of his eyes. Shit, here I go. And then boom, he goes into that fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what about Superman the animated series, where we got more of a he was humanized in that quite a bit, but Clark wasn't the bumbling idiot that, to an extent that Reeves took it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, but Reeves's portrayal of Superman was very homebody, very down to earth, very unassuming. Don't look at me, I'm nobody.
Mhm.
Where um, where Cavill was like, look at me, I'm Superman, dude. You know what I mean? I don't even have to put my suit on. Look at me hold up this building with my hairy chest. Boom, stops that thing from falling, and then saves a bunch of people, and then walks through fire. Like, yeah, you're Superman, bro. We can see it. And this character, I'm hoping he borrows those little elements from Christopher Reeves. He sees the even what's his name, Brandon Routh. Brandon Routh
Oh,
was
yeah.
more of he. I think he was the next best thing to Christopher Reeves.
Um, actually, he was. He actually did a really good portrayal of, and I almost forgot about that. Was that we actually did see uh, a Clark with Ralph,
Yep.
and he did a pretty good job.
He was very good at walking that line like Reeves did, because it was an homage to Reeves's character. It was a continuation of Reeves's story,
Yeah.
just with Brandon Routh in the picture instead of Christopher Reeves. And I think it was really good, man. So if James Gunn can include those things with his character, and don't get what's his kid's name, Summer Sweat or Smells Like
Corn
Teen
sweat,
Spirit, whatever.
cheek sweat.
Yeah, yeah. If Corn Sweat, like, don't get him too big. Let him be kind of small, kind of unassuming, and then in the sequel, have him beef up, have him become Superman, or shoot all his small, you know, stuff in the early end, and then make him beef up for the end of the movie.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, shoot backwards. Or
That's
you
what
know
they did
what?
with.
Huh?
I was gonna say that's what they did with Tom Welling. They shot all his like early stuff where he's 16 years old. You know, he looks like a freaking lanky kid. And then by the time the series ended, he was freaking huge, dude. He got big, and he stayed that way. Like, he still looks like Superman.
Yeah. Now tell me. See, in the movie we saw that hairy chest of freaking Cavill, and then he also had a beard in the movie. How did he cut that hair off?
I don't know. That's the part. And he didn't cut it off his chest because it hangs out the top of his outfit.
It's true, but again,
Cut that over the hope symbol.
there's no way that there's a razor that's strong enough to shave Superman.
Shaves in the dark where the yellow sun doesn't see him.
Yeah. What do
Batman
you
gave him a room to shave him.
with kryptonite inside so it can cut through?
Yeah, yeah.
Reeves, yeah, he did do it. I'm when I meant bumbling idiot, I didn't mean it as like he was a bumbling, but he did blend in perfectly to the background. Ralph came in and picked up where he left off, and he did a really great job of doing the same thing. So now, let's hope that, like you said, shoot skinny corn's butt sweat at the beginning of the movie, and then let's then shoot buff Superman corn sweat towards the end, and that should give you a great movie. And also try to tell this new kid, hey, you don't need to be Cavill, you don't need to be big, just be Superman.
Yeah.
So right now, what the list of roles is, it's Corn Sweat as Clark Kent slash Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, Nathan Fillion as the Green Lantern, Isabella Merced as Hawk Girl, not Hot Girl.
Mhm.
She is a hot girl, but and Eddie. This is a. I'm gonna jack this guy's name up, but whatever. Gathegi as Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific. Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen, and Maria Gabriela as Gabriela De Ferrari as Angela, and Spica Who the hell is Spica?
Maria Gabriela de Faria as Angela
Aria.
Spica, the engineer.
Oh, sorry, my stuff's shifted.
Angela Spica, the engineer.
But who's Angela Spica? I don't remember her as one of the characters. Did I miss the special message?
What message? Did
I
you
don't
did you
know.
promise him something that you're not giving him?
I didn't promise him anything. But
James, you got some explaining to do.
James always comes in to throw us off, and he's done it again.
Freaking James.
Thank you, James, for stopping us right in the middle. We're like,
and then of course you've got freaking Sean Gunn, who's gonna play Random Observer number 95.
He promised on IG. I didn't promise nothing. I just said it was going to be.
What did you promise on IG?
All I said was it's the end of the year show. Nothing special. I mean, it's the end of the year. Wow. He's messing with us.
You gotta freaking treat the world like
James.
No promises.
Dang it, James. Leah, see, he did that on purpose. Only reason I showed up.
He showed up just to mess with us. Damn it. Yep.
He got us.
Did you post? What story did you post?
Nothing. I'm telling you. He did that on purpose to throw us off.
Oh, it's because the thing you put said the Geek Saga. We got a special message.
It was the dog talking, saying he's got a special message. It's the Geek Saga. Oh my gosh!
Come on, worst explanation ever. Anyway, you're always promising things we can't give. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, Superman Legacy. You can't hate on the freaking the casting. So far, the casting sounds pretty legit. They got a lot of solid actors in there. I just hope they have a good plan, because even Superman Lois, Tyler Hoechlin, he plays a really good Superman and Clark.
He does. He definitely does. That show is actually pretty good. I'll admit that. So, yeah, I am going to blame it on the dog. Jeez. I'll change that message up so it doesn't come up again. Anyways, moving on to our next story. Staying kind of in, you can almost say like this realm of DC stuff, but
not really.
Yeah, I mean, we got two guys.
They used to be DC directors, I guess, if you want to go that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They both kind of directed DC stuff. You know, you got Chris Nolan, all the Batman series, and then Zack Snyder, who did Justice League and more. And
so James is asking, is there too many characters they plan to introduce in the movie? No, they're not planning to introduce too many characters, but they do have plans to introduce Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and then there's obviously your Lex Luthor. Yeah. Best DC directors? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Zack Snyder said that his movie would have been better had they have not cut it down from 3 hours to what it was. And then when we got that, or it was 4 hours.
To give him credit, the extended cut was way better.
It was, but look how long it had to be.
That's what I'm saying. It was way better, but Jesus, dude, you want to make me sit through a Titanic movie every time I watch a superhero movie? Like, dude, killing me. And then Christopher Nolan, he did have a really good Batman. His 3 stories were great. He had a great take on the characters, his rogue galleries, the everything about it. But these two, I think they're just 2 buddies who are always giving each other kudos. Not that it's all really warranted, especially in the case of this movie.
I think with this is now he's acknowledging. This is true. Titanic did have boobs, but they were not in there long enough. So, or enough. But he is now leaning like Nolan is saying that Zack Snyder is the kind of the hottest thing when it comes to superhero movies and to sci-fi because of his latest movie, which was Rebel Moon. I don't know if any of you guys out there watched Rebel Moon. I did because I was kind of excited because I was like, oh my god, okay, it actually looks really good in all the trailers. Like visually, it's amazing. I'm going to say that it really looks amazing. Acting wise, storyline wise,
And I was kind of giving you like what I heard about this right before we jumped on.
yeah,
Uh, like I was telling you, the movie was written specifically to be the John Wick Star Wars movie that adult fans yearn for in Zack Snyder's eyes. He thinks that the adult fans need something that's tailored to them. They were kids who fell in love with Luke or they fell in love with Anakin and now they're adults and they need something to continue their interest so that they can keep their kids interested in the mainline story. And of course, the powers that be at Disney were like, nah, man, we don't like this story at all. It's not going to work for us. Star Wars is for kids. It's not an adult thing. So go away. And then as soon as he walks out of the office, Netflix calls and they're like, hey, we heard that didn't go the way you wanted it to. We'll fund that movie. So then he had to rework the movie to make it a standalone franchise. But it definitely has all of those Star Wars influences still in it. They didn't get rid of enough of it.
yeah. When you watch it, you definitely can see where all the influences were of Star Wars, from a dude with or a chick with laser swords. I mean, granted, they connect into her hand, and that's what shoots the power into it, and they turn into these blades that can cut anything almost. To the Western feel of it. But let me tell you something. If they had actually made this into a Star Wars movie and the main character of this movie was supposed to be like that Rey character, okay, now the newest Star Wars would have probably been a lot better. It flowed, but there were a couple of stutter steps to this. And of course, before it even came out, Zack Snyder was already saying, hey, we're putting this out, but there's going to be a director's cut to this movie already. So yeah,
Just give us the dude. Netflix paid you hella money. Just give us the cut you want us to see the first time.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if it has to be long, then do it.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Not only that, or cut it into parts, man. Give us part
yeah.
one, part two. Like
Well, they did,
with Dune.
but what they should have done was done a mini series. If this would have been cut into a mini series where it was 4 hour long episodes, dude, I think this thing could have probably been amazing. Which we'll see what happens when Zack Snyder actually busts out his version again, his version of his film,
I
and
just feel
then
like he does great stuff. Everything he's done is good. Zack Snyder's Justice League was good. Uh, it's good. People like it. It's got a lot of praise. But he was already saying, "Oh, this movie's gonna destroy Star Wars for Star Wars fans," and I'm like, "You're not gonna dethrone the king, bro. Like, you're not gonna do it." And like even the Mandalorian, when the Mandalorian came out, I was like, "Dude, you're gonna give me a series about Mandalorians? Like, I don't want to see that shit. I don't want it." But it was
awesome.
done well, and it fit the Star Wars universe. So to see Christopher Nolan be like, "Oh my God, you're the leader of superhero movies and sci-fi movies." Did you watch the zombie movie he did on Netflix?
Oh yeah, the one where they were going into
Dude, I
Vegas.
couldn't. I saw the intro, turned it off after 2 minutes. Then I was like, unfair. Gotta watch it longer. Got through the team forming, and then I was like, done. I'm out. Like I don't care enough. Batista can't even keep me in this movie. Like
Yeah, I couldn't. I watched it, but it was I don't even remember where I was that I ended up watching it. And so you go back on your word. Mando was good. Mando was good. There ain't no doubt about that. That was great. Army of the Dead. That's what it was. It was fun. Eat your popcorn and enjoy. You know what? And James, you should know this by now too, just like David. I watch everything. Bad, good, whatever. Yes, it is not Citizen Kane, but even I was sitting there like I couldn't do it. I watched the whole thing just maybe to see if it got better, but it
But
didn't.
yeah, I mean, I'm not here for a Citizen Kane movie, right? I don't want to see that.
No,
But
I want
give me something
popcorn.
that was I Am Legend that was entertaining. Give me something that was 28 days later, 28 days later, 28 months later,
Weeks
whatever the
later.
heck it was called, weeks later. Like those were good. They were different. They had different takes on the World War Z was good. It had a different take on it, but it was a different story element to the zombie world. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Army of the Dead felt like a cheap attempt to make Gears of War into a movie. Like,
Well, I feel like it was a not only a cheap attempt at that, but also trying to bank off of again another person who just made it huge in the comic book world, which was Batista, and that's what they were banking on was his popularity to
yeah,
drive that movie. You
Dave
know,
Batista and Dave Batista has surprised me, man. Like when he was in Blade Runner
yeah,
2049, dude,
yeah,
his that section with him in it at the beginning sold
dude, it
me.
was
I was like, I have to finish watching this movie now.
yeah, it was such a short part, but yet it was so good. It was like, holy crap, this dude can act.
Yeah, and he actually came out one time and he was like giving horrible time to The Rock for being a wrestler who went what did he say? He went mainstream, got into movies, and he was okay. But he did his homework. He did the acting lessons. He got better, and now we get movies that are written by The Rock for The Rock, just like Stallone does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Batista has found a way to slide into movies and be a good actor, not a wrestler who's acting. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So,
What was that one movie that he was in? Oh, great! Now I'm gonna have to think. I gotta look it up.
which one?
Um, hold on. I'll tell you right now.
Just hit me with what you think the movie was about.
He was like trying. It was like almost like an apocalyptic time movie, and he was trying to get out of a city or something like that. Um,
It sounds like Blade Runner, where he's living out on his own in the.
no, not, no, it wasn't Blade Runner. Um, shoot, it was definitely before Army of Darkness. Um, I'm pretty sure it was him.
Well, I know he was in Riddick, the
Yeah,
third Riddick movie. He didn't do bad in that. Um, Knock at the Cabin? No,
no, Bushwick.
I never
Did
watched
you ever
that.
see that?
No.
So it was actually a pretty good movie. It was pretty decent. When a U.S. based military force invades their Brooklyn neighborhood, 20-year-old Lucy and war veteran Stoop must depend on each other uh, to survive. Um, it actually was it was a pretty good movie. I actually watched it, sat down, and I was like, yeah, this is actually pretty good. And he did an amazing job. He was the lead in that. It was just like a indie film, but it was good. So
Hmm.
Batista's got some chops.
He does.
So, but
He's
back
done.
to this story. Back to this. Um, Look, I'm not going to take anything away from either one of these guys because in their own right, they've done some great jobs on the movies. I'm really curious to see his role in Dune is going to deliver. He's a great casting for Raban. Uh, yeah, no, he is perfect casting for that part. But but with these two guys, I don't think Zack Snyder has really influenced the superheroes or sci-fi industry in the way that they're thinking, or at least Nolan is
No,
praising them.
I don't think so either. And Nolan, I mean, he's done great movies. Like a lot of his movies are people want to see those movies or they recommend them all the time.
Except for
But
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
people recommend that all the time too.
Oh God, no.
But in
Right.
Inception,
Yeah. Great
Inception
movie.
was really good.
Yep.
So I mean, he's got good ideas and he's got great movies, but to say that Snyder has had a bigger influence on superhero movies than he has, I don't see it. I think his 3 Batman movies were way better than the Snyderverse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they were a lot better. And then also, if you really take the time and sit and watch the Snyder movies, the cinematography in it is just like a Michael Bay. You can tell it's a Zack Snyder movie. And with the latest Rebel Moon, you can tell it's a Snyder movie because it's got the elements from all his other movies previous wrapped into this.
Yep.
So again, it's nothing to take away, and I'm not gonna say that I don't like Zack Snyder movies and I don't like Christopher Nolan movies. I like them both, but you definitely can tell when it comes to Zack Snyder, his movies, just like Michael Bay.
I mean, and contrary to the headline here, I would have to say that even though Dave Filoni is literally only working in Star Wars universe, his contributions to the sci-fi world is way better than what he's done. Like Rebels, Clone Wars, Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett. Even though it wasn't really accepted well, it's still better than the 3 Disney helmed movies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So
I mean,
I agree with you. Sci-fi contributions more, definitely Filoni.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. So
James, James, you got anything to add in here since you're on here?
We'll see what Snyder does with his upcoming projects because there's at least one more part to Rebel Moon. I think he wrote it as a trilogy, so we might be in for a threefer. But I think that Nolan. I mean, like I said, they've earned their chops, but that's like Spielberg telling me that I write the best comic books ever. Like, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
So.
All right. That is it for the Geek News, you guys. This is definitely a segment that we do every week, and we talk about what the latest news is out there. And we're going to close out of that with. All right.
So we've already ran longer than normal, and I would apologize, but it is what it is. And we, like I said, if you guys want to hear us talk about something else, like I know we've mentioned Superman Legacy at least 2 or 3 times in the last couple of weeks, and we've also talked about the DCU quite a bit, but that seems to be what's popping up. So if there's, like I said before, if you want to talk about something else, or you have an idea of something we should be talking about, or you just happen to follow some other type of geekdom stuff that we are not tracking, shoot us a email, shoot us a DM, find us on the chat when we're live, mention some things. We'll take those notes down and we will turn around and feature it in our next segment, or we'll do a special post about it and post it that way. But we work full-time jobs. We both work for the Army. We're at their beck and call. We have to go do our military stuff. So there's a lot where we're lacking, and we know that. But you can help us out. You can send us whatever you want us to talk about, and we will most definitely build a cool segment around it just to keep you guys interested.
Well, and also, guys, this is the last one of the year, which, look at that, dude. We made it to 33 episodes.
In our first year?
In our first year. That is actually pretty impressive. Had we not had a couple of times where we had to, and it wasn't just because we didn't want to come online, but we actually had to not be able to come online because military duty didn't allow us. and also other circumstances that came up throughout the year. But we hit 33. That's freaking amazing for us.
Yeah, and we had a lot of good interviews.
Yeah.
We're probably sitting in what, this 5 to 7 people for the year.
Jackie, Randy,
Evil Ted,
Jenny, Ted,
the delivery,
oh yeah, James from
James.
Delivery Nest. Oh crap! Hold on.
Oh,
Okay.
we had Phil,
Oh yeah, we have.
and we just lost you. But as always, everybody, hit us up. Army of the Dead or Resident Evil. Oh man, James, Resident Evil, not in movies, video games. I can't do the other stuff. Army of the Dead is good, but like I said, I don't like a lot of them. Let's see, heard my name. Yeah, we were talking about you. We were saying if you had anything you wanted to jump in on while we were finishing up that segment. Now we're talking about people joining our conversation, just like you are here. You know, sending us info, hitting us up for ideas that they want us to do. But as always, everybody, you can find us here on the live streams. We go live on Facebook, we go live on YouTube, we go live on Instagram. We also go live on Twitch. At the moment, we're limited to 3, so we're kind of like shuffling between them. We know your taste now. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't heard our taste, you should find us at cons. Oh, you should find us at cons. We're gonna be trying to go to a couple more. We did do Sparks Convention Center. We did do the Heroes Con. We did Los Angeles Con. We're trying to go to a couple more. So find us out there. We're going to be hitting a bunch of stuff. Eugene is going to be going to stores, going to pop-ups, going to different events in order to get more people to know what we do, but also to get more highlights on the stuff that we want to talk about, right? And also to get Project Wish Upon a Star, who we've been trying to help and plug and get stuff for them, because they've been great to us and we want to continue to be great to them. So you'll find us out there. Look at the Instagram. You'll see a list of cons that we're going to be at. You'll see the things we're thinking about doing, the things we're planning on going to. Also, find our friends, James and Phil, and all of their team from Distance Nerding. They usually are at the same pop-ups we're at, and they're at the same cons that we're at. And we try to do a lot of things together, not necessarily where we're all doing all the same stuff at one time, but we do try to go to the same events because then we can help push those events out there like everyone else does. Is he back? Nope, he dropped out again. Well, sucks to be that guy. Do a Frankensons. Yeah, we've been wanting to go to Frankensons and do a pop-up. There's a couple spots down here in the Fresno area as well. There's a couple tabletop games places. It's not Army Wi-Fi. It's that T-Mobile Wi-Fi he's using. And the Army building that blocks out all of that stuff. So yeah, just look for us everywhere. We're going to be trying to do a lot. I'm going to try to do a bunch of maybe voiceover videos where I'm talking to you guys about things that we didn't necessarily cover in our show, but I'll be drawing in the background trying to get those things done because I do have stuff that I want to get out. And maybe Eugene will pop in. I don't know. He keeps fluttering at the bottom. So look for us. Once again, big shout out to Project Wish Upon a Star. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook. We have links to them in our IG as well. Look for Ulanzi products. I think they are in our link tree as an affiliate. Eugene can chime in on that if that's true or not. And then as well, we have.
Can you hear me? Am I back?
Kind of. Your voice is back, but you're not really. There you are.
All right. I took the stupid Wi-Fi out of the window, and all of a sudden everything dropped.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, but yeah, guys,
So
check out all the links are going to be all in our link tree on our Instagram. Also, we have a link tree that's attached to our YouTube next year. And this is what, like, right when I was going to say next year, yeah, like David said, because I did hear that we are going to be doing quite a few more cons. Right now, we are lining up to go with these guys from Distance Learning. James, actually, it's going to be with Philippe, up to the first of the Colossal Girl cons, which is in, is it Idaho, James? Idaho? Or up that way. And that's Gem State Con. So really excited about that. We'll see what happens with that one. And also, I'm going to be doing a lot more content this year, going out to different arcades, different comic book stores. I'm actually going to get out there so we can get some content going alongside with our usual posts, which is, the Geek News and a lot of the stuff that we have going on our Instagram. So I think this year is going to be a lot promising. Last year we kind of stutter-stepped to start. Dude, we had this idea for like 6 months, and then didn't start till like middle of the year, huh?
I think we started in like February or March, and then we jacked those few up, and then learned our lessons, and now we're actually doing things right.
Yeah, we are. We're still learning though, but it's a lot of fun. Dude, this year was great. I really do, want to give that out again to all our friends that we met. And I know David was trying to say that when I was trying to log in, to all the guests that we've talked to and that we still talk to this day that have been really cool. To James has been a huge supporter of us, and Phil too. I'm not going to knock anything off Phil, but James has definitely been like Papa James to us. So we're part of his kids now too. So thank you, dude. Thank you a lot for everything.
What nobody sees, because James does things on the fly, like he's constantly putting stuff into the chat to keep us talking. He also will sometimes shoot us Instagram messages or text messages while we're speaking in order to give us other things to do. And then he also helps us stay on track. Like when we go live, like at LA Comic Con, and it's us and Phil, we get sidetracked a lot. All three of us are vets, and we just ramble. So James will be like, "Hey guys, you guys want to dial back? You guys want to talk about this? You guys want to do this? Have you guys leaned over and spoke to Darren and Veronica yet? Have you guys done this? Have you done that?" And it helps a lot because it dials us down. Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to have James kind of like directing us, even from a distance. So we're looking forward to that. Yes, Gem State with Sean Astin, which I'm seriously stoked. I'm going to get a Roosevelt shirt because they put out some great designs for the Goonies, and I'm going to get mine and when I get out there, I'm going to wear it. And hopefully I can try to talk them into giving me an extra one to give give for both me and David, but also to give one to Sean Astin and maybe get a picture of that. That'd be awesome. But guys, it's been a great year. It really has. 2023 is pretty much over. Looking forward to 2024. Looking forward to where we're going to go with the Geek Saga, because at the beginning of the year, I started with 2 podcasts, and I'm down to just 1 podcast that I'm doing. And, it's been a lot of fun spending even more time with my friend David here, who if you guys didn't know, again, 2 salty veterans that love everything geek, but he was my squad leader at one time. So we spent a lot of time on a deployment together. And since then, we've been working with each other here at the base. Like, see the background here. And, it's been fun talking to him, hanging out with him, and doing everything that we do. He's become a really good friend. So this podcast has been a great thing. So I'm excited for next year. What about you?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you're all glitched out on my end too, but like always, we want to thank you guys for being here. If it wasn't for you guys, we probably would have quit this, because even though it's 4 people, it's better than going live to no one. So thank everyone who joins in, everyone who watches for even if it's a couple minutes of stream. Seeing that number pop up, and even if it goes away, like it means a lot because it means you took the time to remember we're here. And maybe we just weren't talking about what you liked. So thank you for joining in. Look for everything we're going to be doing in the future because, like Eugene said, we're going to try to do a whole lot more. But yeah, it's been a great year. Happy New Year's to everybody. Happy belated holidays for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all the things that have happened. Whichever you celebrated, I hope it was good for you. And I don't know what else you got, man.
That's pretty much it. But you're going to have to take us out on this one because if I refresh the page, I'm going to lose it again. But I'm having trouble trying to get our brands to be able to close us out.
All right, guys. Well, to steal a line from Sean Astin, Goonies never say die. It has been our time down here. It's your time out there. So join us next week when the saga continues, and we will be back on the Geek Saga. So, oh no, I lost the intro.
No.
Oh, there it is. Sorry.